Alright, good.
36 Charlie Kilo Mower, call ready.
I did not, but I'm ready now. 36 Charlie Kilo.
36 Charlie Kilo, after departure crossover, runway 5 midfield, proceed to the southeast, and then you can go to the river and on course, 9 left, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 9 left, cross runway 5 midfield, then to the middle of the river to on course, 36 Charlie Kilo. Alright, so now we're going to go right to left. So disable recirc, full ridge, flaps are set, boost pumps on, caps pin is out. We are ready to boogie. Here we go. Approach is clear. Nobody on the runway. Winds are going to be from right to left.
So ailerons down to the right to start.
Yep.
Right. 239er Melbourne Tower, traffic will be a surge. They're going to cross over runway 5 from left to right midfield.
Right, I see a 9 left.
And then make a right turn to the southeast. Runway 5, clear for takeoff.
Alright, so let's go ahead and slowly advance the power. Bring that right rudder in as you do.
39er right turn
Power's
southeast
coming up.
at the river, please.
Green, green. Fuel flow is stabilized normal.
Oh.
Oop, use your rudders. There you go. They get way effective as you accelerate. Alright, airspeed's alive. We're looking for 71 knots. Here's 71. Whoop. Yeah, they're way. These things are really sensitive. All right, so pitch it for about 5 degrees and nose up. Use a little bit of right crosswind correction there. Pitch for 5 degrees and nose up.
So trim it down a little.
Nope, you're gonna pitch up a little bit. Right about there is what you're looking for. All right, let's start a right turn. Right turn.
No.
All right, keep your nose down, keep your nose down, keep your nose down. All right, so we're at a safe altitude. We have a positive rate of climb, and we're better than 85 knots. Flaps up.
Runway 5 midfield, please.
Runway 5 midfield, 26 Charlie Kilo. Yep. All right, flaps are up. Now pitch for those command bars. So put your yellow chevrons in the magenta ones. So pitch up just a little bit more. There you go. And right rudder to keep the ball centered, and then your trim is on your hat. So I just recommend bumping the trim hat to get it to where you want it rather than pushing and holding.
Yeah.
Looks like you got a little bit of a left turn, so a little bit of right aileron trim. All right, 600 caps is now available.
59er, you can start the right turn to the southeast now, thanks.
Turn southeast, 59er.
239er, there's a Cirrus, he's about a mile south of just southeastbound at 800.
We're going to keep heading right at the center of the river, and then we'll turn and go to the south.
Alright, thanks. Maintain visual.
Alright, my chevrons are good, but my green thing's not, but that's fine.
Yeah, so just pitch for the command bars for now.
57 Melbourne Tower, right turn southeastbound, runway 5.
Alright, so now that we're out of the area, we can disable the flight director, so just press disable the autopilot disconnect. The red button will take it away. There you go. Now we're just pitching for about 100 knots. We're going to keep the climb coming. Let's not turn to the left. Let's keep it to the right. I know there's a Cherokee that's coming our direction. He's lower than us, but we'll keep going this way. All right, gauges are still all green. So now we'll do a climb checklist. So we'll hit the checklist button. Scroll down to the bottom here. Actually, I'll just push checklist, and I'm going to go to climb. Enter. All right, climb power is set. We'll just leave it full throttle. Flaps verified in the up position. Mixture. Top of the green arc. That's good. Engine parameters for monitoring, and fuel pump will leave it on. So climb is complete. All right, we'll go back home. All right, so now we're just going to kind of head. We'll work over here in India North, India South, about a mile offshore.
Okay, now I seem to have a tendency.
All right, so give yourself
to go left.
So give yourself a little bit of right trim. See, I just trimmed it a little bit.
That'll fix that.
Yep. And we're going to climb up to about 3,000 feet.
So at 7.5 or at 100 and.
Yeah, about 100 knots. What we're trying to do is keep these cylinder head temperatures below 385 degrees, which they're looking good right now.
Yeah.
So about 100 to 105 knots should keep you in the right range.
That's the same as 315 Alfa Romeo.
Melbourne Coffee 23 holding short at Victor 5, ready for departure.
23 Melbourne Tower, departure, make left traffic for runway 9 or left, runway 5.
With my 5 degree pitch up.
I mean, at this point, I'd pitch for airspeed more than I'd be looking at the attitude indicator. Okay. But it's going to be approximately 5 to 6 degrees of nose up. It's going to vary by weight and atmospheric conditions, right?
Yep.
All right, we're out of his airspace. I'm going to go over to practice area now. All right, 700 to go.
So I have my trend. I'm going up at 500-600 feet.
Yep, which is just about right.
That would be a minute to get to where we want to go. 107 is beyond 105. I don't mind spending extra time.
No. I got the Dick Tracy watch telling me stuff.
Oh, I got one. I got two of those. This is the Garmin one. I've never.
Yeah, my wife bought me this one. I would have preferred the Garmin one, but this is what I got. Alright, so let's make a right turn now, and we're going to parallel the coast. So we are clear on the right, going right. 300 to go. Alright, so that's telling you 200 below with the chime.
Yep.
And a heading of about a 165, 160 is enough, is generally pretty good to parallel the coast. Alright, so once we get it to 3,000, we're going to hold it level, let it accelerate, and then we'll throttle back to approximately 65% power. There's 3,000. Alright, so we're at 120 knots. That's about where we want to be, so go ahead and throttle back to about 65% power. So there's going to be a big pull on the power quadrant. It's changing the propeller governor, and then you'll start to see the power come down.
So there's a lag?
Yep.
I'm still pulling, and it's not.
Yeah, see what I mean? There's a lag between.
Yeah.
But once you get it back there, then it becomes way more sensitive. So keep it coming back. See how it's real sensitive in the back half?
Okay. So we want 65.
Yeah, about 65% power.
Which is the 130 maneuvering speedish area.
Yep. And then once you get yourself trimmed out and your power set, then we'll do the. Yeah, they're sensitive, right? The roll rates are pretty impressive on this airplane.
Okay.
All right, so now let's do a cruise checklist.
Okay, so.
And if you want to arm the autopilot,
yeah,
you're turning a little bit, so come back. See how it's still. Yeah, that's not bad. If you want to arm the autopilot, it's heading mode, center the heading bug, altitude hold, and then engage the autopilot. Alright, so now it's flying on the autopilot. Yep, so now you can do checklist.
And to go to the checklist, I hit here.
Yep.
And
so if you want it, so that's
cruise.
Yep. So we're there. So we'll leave the fuel pump on because we're going to do maneuvers today.
Right?
Yep.
Cruise
so,
power set, mixture, lean is required.
Alright, so you see how when we brought it back down, we got this cyan bar. That is where we're going to lean to. So pull the mixture back until it's on the cyan bar.
Is this another slow but steady rins?
Yeah, just bring it back. It'll you'll kind of get the feel for how it moves.
Did I overshoot? No.
No.
Pretty good.
And so that's rough leaning. If you want to get it real precise, when you press the engine page, you'll have a chevron here on the fuel flow that you can get it even closer.
Okay. Is
Yeah.
that 100 degrees rich of peak?
Yes, that is 100 degrees rich of peak. Yep. And this is all calculated based on OAT and a whole bunch of stuff. So it's doing a lot of the math for you. So that's probably a switch tanks alert. So we'll go back to the engine page. Let's see what we got. Yep, so we want to go to right tank now. Boost pumps on. We're going to go left to right. Right tank. I see a right tank. Fuel flow stays stable. Good. All right, let's go back to the checklist. And we'll finish the cruise checklist.
Fuel pump, cruise power set, mixture, lean is required, engine
Yep.
parameters, monitor.
Everything looks good to me.
Fuel flow and balance.
It's all good. We just did all that. So
we
checklist
just
is complete.
go Check, 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 check,
And there you go. All right,
check.
cool.
Go to the next checklist.
Next one should be descent, I believe.
So
Yep.
that'll be.
All right, so now press the home page. Go back to the home page. So we got traffic up, and we'll let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit. So the rain, just go ahead and zoom out a little bit. There you go. So we got a guy ahead of us at 400 feet. He looks like he's down by the inlet. All right, cool. So now let's just, if you want to hand fly a little bit, just kind of get the feel for the airplane. You can go ahead and disconnect the autopilot, and let's just do some shallow bank turns and just get a feel for what it feels like, because it's definitely different than a Cessna.
Okay.
All right, autopilot's away. You have the controls.
Okay, so
Let's
see. If we were doing an approach, we'd probably do.
Yeah, standard rate. Let's just try.
Okay, find standard rate down.
So roll to about
standard
18
rate.
degrees of bank. Roll to about 18 degrees, so that's just below the second, and that should be approximately standard rate at the speeds we're flying right now.
And I'm trying to hold 3,000 at the same time.
So you're climbing a little bit, so bring your nose down.
Between
There you go.
Valkaria and radiation, slow flight. And north.
So that's the white line is actually the horizon. So I want to keep this
Correct.
nice chevron on that, and I'm not turning the standard rate anymore. So
80 South
if I
traffic,
were
36 Charlie Kilo, it's Bean Barefoot Bay, about a mile offshore, currently westbound at 3,100 feet, maneuvering, 80 South. Alright, what are you asking?
Traffic 224 is over the production number 3,500.
I'm thinking of doing an approach pattern and
Indian
how
North
badly I'm
traffic,
doing right now.
227 over the shoreline.
So,
3 miles northeast
trying to
of
get my eyes on
Valkaria at
that
2000
standard
feet,
rate.
heading to the south, doing far off stall. Indian North traffic.
Standard rate, but I've climbed 200 feet.
Alright.
Indian North traffic,
I feel myself pulling back.
about a mile
Is that
north.
Alright, so so now you're descending a little bit, but that's okay. Let's get back down to 3,000 feet, and then we'll see where we're trimmed out, see what we're looking like. So you're about 100 feet a minute descent now, and it does look a little nose low to me.
So
it's
once I get to 3,000, I should trim
yeah.
the nose up.
So yeah, bring it to level first, and then trim away control pressures.
Okay.
We got a guy 700 feet below coming our direction. I'll see if I can find him. So let's just stay over the shoreline for now.
Okay.
Heading northeast south traffic, 36 Charlie Kilo is now just to the south of Valkaria over the shoreline, northbound 3,000, heading north to south.
So.
Alright, I got 2 planes.
Little 437, I think that was correct. Asking for another 20 minutes.
Alright, good. So now, let's see what we got. This is looking pretty darn good. You got a little bit of a descent, but not bad. This is what level flight looks like. Pretty close to it. So, it's just a different sight picture you got to get used to.
Okay. No, I need to get used to things. Okay, I got him.
Yep, we got one there. We got another one. It's lower.
Traffic, flight 207, 2,500.
You're seeing those.
Yep.
So I got the relative sight picture. I hope you don't mind. But
Oh no, this is exactly what this is for. This is why we do these transition courses. It's to get you comfortable in the airplane, figure out where all the buttons are, all that stuff. So this is all good stuff. And you look like you're nice and trimmed out now, so this is looking really good.
Alright, so given where they went and what they might do we want to continue on?
I would say let's try a left turn now.
Okay.
Alright, so clear to the left, we'll just do a nice medium bank turn.
So standard rate medium bank.
Yep.
South traffic 224 over to Sebastian at 3,300, descending, steep spiral, look up below.
More than standard rate, but we're holding our altitude.
Alright, so we're in a little bit of a climb right now.
Indian North traffic, 227.
I tend to pull back.
Well, you should. That's the natural tendency. These controls are just way more effective than you're used to. That's why.
Doing power on stall, Indian North traffic.
You can fly this airplane with your fingertips. It's so sensitive.
That's what you're supposed to do, I guess. I should probably try doing that. Because I'm ham-fisted by nature. So I'm bringing it around to the heading bug of 150.
165, yeah. We got a guy 500 below, just off the nose. I don't see him.
I'm island hopping.
I can tell you what, it's a beautiful place to fly here.
All right,
the views never get old.
I let it come down in the process of doing that. So your normal, again, I'm thinking of flying an approach. So I'm 100 feet off.
Yep.
Just make a correction. Don't add power. Don't do anything.
Yeah.
Get back up with a little tug on the yoke.
Yep.
Side stick. And now I'm back up to 3,000, and then I want to take all pressures off and have it.
Looks like we're trimmed a little bit nose low.
So we want to.
So bring it back to level first, and then trim away control pressures.
All right, but it's back to 3,000 and then level.
Yes,
and then control
exactly.
Okay.
Set your nose attitude where you want it, and then trim it away. And I recommend bumping the Hatswitch as opposed to pressing and holding, because the trim is pretty darn effective once you get it close. I mean, if you got a big differential, then obviously you got to be a little more aggressive.
Traffic 3,900 over the east bank of the river, turning eastbound 2,500.
Let's get a little bit of a right turn going here. We'll just stay over the middle of the river here. All right.
South traffic 224 over the Sebastian Inlet, 1,900.
So now, that's turns. If you want to try, we'll try steep turns. That's a little bit later, but we can do it now if you'd like. It's up to you. Or we can try some
slow flight or a stall.
All right, let's try some slow flight. So we're going to do slow flight at flaps 100. So we got to be under 50 knots. So what we're going to do is we'll hold 3,000 feet. We're going to come back on the power. Let's set up for now about 30% power. And we're aiming for about 10 knots above the bottom of the white arc. All right, so keep holding altitude. We're now under 150 knots. Let's go flaps 50. All right, it's going to want to pitch up on you.
Valkaria? We're just south of it over the shoreline.
All right, now we're under 110. We can go flaps 50. Or flaps 100, excuse me.
Eastbound? Yeah, we're flying eastbound.
All right, so now just keep it coming down to approximately 70 knots. So there's 70 knots. Now bringing the power back in. Bring the power up. Let's set maybe about 50% power. Now we're going to pitch for airspeed power for altitude. So we're going to use about 70 knots.
Traffic 27 over the shoreline at
power for altitude.
I want to get a little trim in there.
Yeah, so trim it away. Yeah, trim the control pressures away.
Sebastian, heading to the south and doing slow flight. Indianapolis traffic.
All right, cool. Yeah, looking pretty good. So it's very docile in slow flight. Let's try a turn. We'll go.
Over Sebastian,
yeah, we ballooned up a little bit.
3,500.
I guess we'll just leave it.
Yeah, now that we've got it trimmed, that's fine. We'll leave it here. So now we'll just use 30. It's actually about 3,400. So we'll use 3,400 as the reference. And let's do a right turn 90 degrees. We'll turn out towards the farm fields out here. So here we go. Just a nice, easy turn to the right. And you're still climbing just a little bit, so I take a little bit of power out. Just a touch. I mean, these things are super sensitive. Watch your airspeed there. Pitch it down a little bit. And now if you're descending, bring a little power up. Whatever you got to do just to hold up. Yeah, pitch for airspeed.
Pitch farm, slow flight, power on, power off stall.
That's right. Power is my altitude and pitch is my speed.
Yep. So now we're descending. So now bring a little power up.
To get back to 30.
Exactly. So you can see how sensitive the power quadrant is, right? So that's going to become important when we start doing landings because you want to make small power corrections.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, so we'll roll wings level here.
North and south traffic 539.
All right, so now let's try. We'll start with the descent here. So let's throttle back and hold about 70 knots, and we'll just descend in slow flight a little bit, maybe down to 3,000 is fine.
Okay, so that's just the power change.
Yep. So just bring the power back to 30 or even 25%. It's fine. And just keep pitching for that 70 knots. Looking for about 500 foot a minute. Hotel East traffic, so Sierra 36 Charlie Kilo is about 3 to the south of Valkaria, currently northwestbound at 3,200 feet, descending 3,000 slow flight. Hotel East. Good.
That's 800 feet a minute.
Yeah, so you then just make a little power adjustment. See how you're back at 16%, how sensitive that thing is?
Okay, DSL traffic 624 over Sebastian Inlet 3,300, climbing 3,500, setting up for another steep spiral.
All
right, so it's pretty stable, right? So this would be a landing.
I didn't get to 500. I forgot where we were supposed to go to.
We're gonna go down to 3,000. So I would start leveling out now. So bring your power back up to maybe 45% as you hold 70 knots. Excellent. Good.
And I'm aiming for where we're going because there's a little diamond there.
Yeah, that's the wind diamond. So that's telling you what your course is. So there's basically no wind today. All right, at least up here. All right, so now let's try a climb. So we'll go full rich on the mixture. And now we're going to bring the power up to full, hold 70 knots. Lots of right rudder because you're slow, right? And you can see, even with flaps full, it still climbs pretty good.
There's 70, there's...
All right, we'll climb back up to 3,300 feet, it's fine.
5 minutes.
Alright, there's 3300. Let's nose over. We'll bring the power back. Alright, so once you get stabilized, here's what we're going to do. We're going to just go right into a power off stall.
Okay.
Alright. Bring your power back to about 45 or so.
Indianapolis traffic 227 over the shoreline heading to the north.
So yeah, you got to get that big pull in there.
The solar panels, Indianapolis traffic.
Alright, good. So now let's start pitching for like 80 knots. Alright, so let us descent start. So set about 30% power is fine. So we're gonna do a full stall. We're gonna do a stall to the horn. Alright, so once we get the approach stabilized here at about 80 knots.
Okay.
Yes, traffic 627 is a beam, Verified Bay, directly over the shore, like 2,000 feet, establishing a slow flight heading northbound.
Alright, that's good there. We're in a good descent. Alright, so let's bring the power to idle. Nose up to cover the horizon. So bring the nose up to cover the horizon. At the horn, where the buffet will recover. So this will induce a stall, no problem. Alright, push down, full throttle. Full throttle. Keep your airspeed coming up. Alright, flaps to 50 immediately. Good. And now start milking a climb out, right? So we're trying to get back to 85 knots.
Yep.
Which is about 5 degrees nose pitch up. Good, we got positive rate now. Excellent. Start pitching for that 5 degrees. That should give you about 85.
Yep.
Good. Alright. So pitch down a little bit because we're not getting the performance we need.
Well, at 85 we're going to...
Yeah, 85 will go flaps up. Yep. Alright, good. And now start pitching for 96. So now we're climbing away. Keep the nose up as you transition into that climb. Alright, there you go. Okay, so stall recovery. We'll try one more. We can do it on this altitude. Let's go ahead and throttle back again. We'll hold altitude here while we do that. So throttle back to about 25 or so %. There you go. All right, so hold altitude. Now we've got 140 knots. Let's go to flaps 50. Flaps 50. All right, good. Start to let the nose fall down. We're looking for about 80 knots. Now we can go flaps 100. Let the nose pitch over. So now we're pitching for 80. So pitch down, pitch down, pitch down, pitch down, pitch down. There you go. Let it come. So we want 80 knots at about 25% power. That should be about a 500 foot a minute descent. All right. So there's 80. Alright, so now we're stabilizing, and we'll call this good. Now let's go ahead and go power to idle. Nose up to cover the horizon. Nose up to cover the horizon. Let the airspeed bleed off. Nose down, full power, right rudder, flaps 50. Start bringing the nose up. Stalls broken, bring the nose up. Good. Now we're trying to get it back to positive rate. There's positive rate. Now we're getting to 85 knots. There it is. Now flaps up. Pitch for 96 now. There you go. Perfect. That was excellent. And we're getting VUI. Now we're climbing away from the ground. Good. All right, you can level out here. And come back to about 65% power.
Hotel traffic 224, mid-river, beam, Verified Bay, 2,300, westbound PS.
Alright, so now we'll try a power on stall, and then we'll go see if we can get a couple landings. How's that sound?
Okay.
Alright. So how's your trim feel? Are you fighting it? Yeah, you're fighting it, right? So come back on the power. About 60% power, 65% power. Goodness, there you go.
I was trying to get more aggressive with the power, but I don't want to...
Alright, there you go. So this is looking pretty good here. We're still climbing a little bit. Bring that nose down. Maybe a little bit more nose down trim. Good. Alright, cool. So now for a power on stall, we're going to bring the power back to about 12%. We're going to, once we're under 150 knots, we're going to go flaps 50, decelerate to 71 knots, then we're going to bring the power up to 65%, and we're going to pitch up to about 10 or so degrees of nose up, maybe 15. We'll wait for the horn, then we'll lower the nose to recover. So we're going to lower the nose and increase the power, but you want to get the nose down as you bring the power up, right?
All right, that was an awful lot of stuff.
All right, I'll walk you through it. How's that sound?
So we're going to bring the power back, and the flaps can come out once we...
So yeah, so flaps. Our first flap limitation is
85, or is 100? 150 is the 100 foot degrees. 100.
Right. We're going to use flaps 50 because that's our takeoff configuration, right?
So we're below that now.
All right.
So go flaps 50.
Okay. All right. So just keep holding. So just keep holding it. Let it come back down to rotation speed. So 71 knots. Just keep holding altitude.
Coming.
Yep, just keep, if you need a little trim, give yourself a little trim. Help you out. Keep it coming back. We're descending a little bit, so pull back. Pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back. All right, here comes 71. All right, now bring the power up to 65% power. We're gonna, as we do, we pitch up to about 10 degrees of nose up, at least. Pitch up, pitch up. Nope, not that much power. Right about there. Good, now pitch up. Now hold it at about 10 to 15 degrees of nose up. Let the, just enough so the airspeed will bleed off. Right rudder, right rudder. Let it slow down. Now recover. Push forward, full throttle. Right rudder to keep that ball centered. Stall's broken. Now transition back into a climb. Pitching for 85 knots now.
85.
So you're about 70 knots. So pitch down a little bit. Remember, about 5 degrees is going to give you about 85 knots. Yep, I know. It gets confusing, right?
Because I'm looking at the numbers. And
I know.
Oh, that's where I want to go.
All right, 85. We've got, we don't have positive rate yet, so get us back to positive rate. All right, there's positive rate. Safe altitude, flaps up. Now you transition to 96 VY. All right, good. And as we do this, let's start, we'll level out here, so come back to about 65% power. Let's get a right turn to the northeast. I tell you what, let's do a little bit of a descent because we climbed up. So come back down to about 3,000, so right turn, clear right. Start your descent.
Hotel East Charlie 624, about 95.
Back down to 25% power.
Beam, Pan Island 2,400, sending 2,000 westbound BA.
And we're going to aim at, I tell you what, just go east for now. Then we'll come back to radiation.
39ers over the shoreline, transitioning mid-river, beam Barefoot Bay, going to be passing over Barefoot Bay towards the farm field 2,800, currently westbound.
If you push, once you get on heading, it'll center it for you.
If you know traffic, 602 is 2,500 feet, mid-river, heading south, if you know.
I'm a plan. We've got...
Hotel West Travis and 36 Charlie Kilo is about 5 to the west of Jet Ski Lake, currently eastbound at 3,000 feet, power on stalls, Hotel West. All right, so let's try it one more time. So we'll level out here, so just hold 3,000. Let's come back to about 12% power, or there, somewhere thereabouts. All right, we're at 150 knots, flaps 50. All right, good. Now just let the airspeed bleed down to rotation speed while we hold altitude. So you're still at 30%. Come back or it'll take you forever to get there. Keep pitching up. Keep pitching up. You got to keep increasing that back pressure to keep that airspeed bleeding off. All right, there's 71. So now power at 65. Power at 65. Pitch up, right rudder. Keep that cheese under the crackers, right rudder. Pitch up, pitch up, pitch up, pitch up, pitch up. Hold about 10 degrees of pitch up. Maybe a little bit more, and see how it's bleeding off right where you want it. So a little bit more pitch up. Right rudder is looking good. We're going to get a stall here in just a minute. Keep pitching up. Keep pitching up. Keep pitching up. Keep pitching up. It's going to lower the nose. Full power. Now you've got the stall broken. Now transition back into the climb. So now pitching for 85 knots. So that's about 5 degrees of nose pitch up, right? Pitch up to 5.
Right. I'm looking for the.
So set your control, and then you get your performance. Exactly.
Later.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Cool. All right. So you and Aaron keep working on those a little bit more, but that's good for today. That gives you a good intro. Let's start a descent here, and you see. So come back to about 25% power. And we'll start a descent down to about 1,500 feet. So come back on your power. You're still at 53%.
Yeah.
I know it's weird.
Every time I come back aggressively, I go to 0.
Yeah, you'll get used to it. I promise. It just takes a little time. All right, so let's run a descent checklist now.
Okay. I left it on descent. Altimeter set.
All right, we got to get the ATIS.
ATIS.
So let's go to COM 2.
Mic 2, comp
Yep,
2, right?
that switches to both, yep.
Yeah.
Now,
Rick, boy.
press the swap key to get 13255.
Yankee.
Emergency
Right there. That's a swap key, yep.
Hazardous weather information for
Right.
Florida
Keep your descent coming as we
and
do this.
coastal waters available on flight service frequencies. Notice airman, Melbourne VOR DME is out of service. Taxiway Sierra is closed from the Compass Rose to Taxiway Sierra 1. Taxiway Delta is closed between Taxiway Echo and Taxiway Charlie. Taxiway Alpha is closed between runway 523 and the terminal ramp. VFR departures, advise ground control
Flaps
your
are
direction
50.
of
Go ahead.
flight. On initial
You go
contact
ahead and bring your
advise
flaps
Bravo.
up.
Now we're
Just
going
pitch
to report
down.
information Bravo, METAR
That's why we weren't
16530.
descending off.
Wind 139er visibility.
Why did that cut off?
2 altimeter 3022. Visual approach in use, landing and departing runway 9er right, 9er left, and runway 5. Approaches are being conducted to parallel and converging runways. Hazardous weather information for Florida and coastal waters available on flight service frequencies. Notice airman, Melbourne VOR DME is out of service. Taxiway Sierra is closed from the Compass Rose to Taxiway Sierra 1. Taxiway Delta is closed between Taxiway Echo and Taxiway
We're down
Charlie.
to 1500.
Taxiway Alpha is closed between runway 523 and the terminal ramp. VFR departures, advise ground control your direction of flight. On initial contact, advise Bravo. Melbourne International Airport information, Bravo, METAR 16530. Wind 130 at 9er, visibility 10 miles. Ceiling broken, 4,200 broken, 5,000. Temperature 22.
All right, so we've got information Bravo. So the abandoned airport is just to your left over there. Do you see it?
I see it.
All right, let's head towards it. Keep your descent coming, so you got a little bit of a climb going now. So come back a little bit more on your power. We'll accelerate the descent a little bit here. We want to get down to about 1,500 feet over there. So I'll show you something cool. You see this? You see this banana here? That tells you where you will reach your target altitude. So now we're increasing our descent, so it's going to be closer in front of us.
Rush hour 39 is about 3 miles east of the solar panel southwest bound, 2,700 SLS.
20496 Roger.
1,500, we want to go to 1,500.
Yep.
We're descending at 1,400.
Yeah, so bring your power up a little bit. There you go. So now we'll set about 60% power on the way in. All right, altimeter, we got it. It was the same. Landing lights on. Fuel system, boost pumps on. We are still on the fullest tank. Mixture will be full rich. It is. And our brake pressure, just give your brakes a tap. Make sure they feel good.
Yep, right. So.
All right. So now let's just hold 1,500 on the way in here.
Zulu uniform, stay with you.
Zulu uniform straight in that mic and monitor ground point 9er, please.
All right, monitor ground point 9er, sit to the ramp, Zulu uniform.
Melbourne Tower, Sirius 36 Charlie Kilo's over, abandoned inbound. We'd like one touch and go and a full stop. We have Bravo.
Sirius 36 Charlie Kilo, Melbourne Tower, make right base to road 9er left, 4 to 3 mile right base.
3 mile right base, 9er left, 36 Charlie Kilo. Alright, so we're going to go right at the dump. That's a good spot to aim for. And so I'll walk you through kind of what the power settings and flap settings and such will be. We're going to hold 1,500 here till we get to 95.
What are we going to?
See this I-95's coming up here?
Yeah.
So we're just going to keep hold 1,500 feet for now. What were the winds again?
It took off the...
130 at 9er, so they're going to be right to left. If you want to set it as a reminder, you can, but it's going to be right to left.
Yep.
Alright, so before landing, seatbelts, mine's on, yours on.
Yep.
Fuel pumps in the on position, mixtures full rich, flaps and autopilot are going to be as required. That's all good.
Over there, this is Charlie, current altimeter 3019er.
And set that one, 3019er. Alright, so now we can go ahead and start our descent. So let's throttle back to about 25% power. And we're under 150 knots, so let's go flaps 50. Just keep your nose down now, so we're not descending. Now, the thing you got to remember about a Cirrus, it's a lot faster. So let's get the nose down. Let's get the nose down. Well, we're looking for about 100 knots now. We want about a 500 foot a minute descent rate. So come back just a little bit on the power. Maybe 20% or so. Okay, so now we're at 900 feet a minute. So come back up on the power and bring your nose up a little bit. Bring your nose up. Bring your nose up. Bring your nose up. All right, now we're under 110. Let's go flaps 100.
100.
And tower 36 Charlie Kilo is right base for 9 left.
6 Charlie Kilo, clear to land, runway 9 left.
We have a touch and go for 9 left for Charlie Kilo.
27%.
Let's go
power.
90. Let's go 90 knots. And tower, can 36 Charlie Kilo get a touch and go on 9 left?
And what do you want to do then?
Just one, then do a full stop for Charlie Kilo.
Just quick touch and go 9 left.
Bring your nose up, way too nose low. Quick touch and go 9 left, and then left traffic for Charlie Kilo. Alright, flaps are 100, so we're looking for about 90 knots here. Alright, good. So no more than about 3 degrees of nose down, so you're at 7 right now. So let's start a right turn.
Okay.
Start a right turn. Good. Now we're looking for about 80 knots, so we're going to trim for 80 knots. Alright, so bring in a little bit of power, just a little bit. There you go. Alright. Stabilize. Alright, so we're a little high, so take about half of that back out. We're looking for about 2 red, 2 white. So now let's bump the trim. See how I'm bumping the trim here? I'm just bumping it to get it to 80. So now we're pretty stabilized at 80, and it's small pitch and power changes from here. Small pitch and power changes. Alright, so hold 80. If we start to get low, we bring in a little bit of power. But this is looking pretty good. So the winds are definitely right to left, so we're going to need right crosswind correction. Alright, right on it. We got 1 red, kind of pinkish, that's fine. Alright, bring a little bit of power. See how you're getting a little slow there? So pitch for the airspeed, power for the altitude. There you go, good. Pitch for 80, good. Alright. Bring your nose up a little bit, there you go. Good. Alright, keep your nose going right at 9 or left now. Right at 9 or left. Now we're coming up a little bit, so take a little bit of that power out. A little bumpy. A little bit more right crosswind correction. Hold 80 knots. Yep.
I'm testing my.
Yeah, it's pretty sensitive, by the way. Right, keep your nose going. So keep that power in. Keep going right at 9 or left. Going right at 9 or left. A touch more power. We're sinking. Touch more power. Good. All right, ground effect now. So now start reducing the power and bring the nose up. Bring the nose up. Now hold it right here. Close the power. Just hold the nose right here. Just hold it and let it sink. Just hold it and let it sink. Hold it and let it sink. Nope, too high. Too high. See how we went too high? Flaps 50.
Yep.
Toga. So press the toga button. Now full throttle. Full throttle. Rudders for directional control.
6 Charlie Kilo, make your left crosswind before the VOR.
For the VOR, 3 Charlie Kilo. 71 rotate. Pitch for 85 now. Pitch for 85. Alright, so you just let it float. It really likes to float. Pitch for 85.
90.
Alright. So wait. Positive rate. Let's get a little higher. There's 100 feet. Obstacle clear. Now flaps up. Alright, good. Now pitching for the command bars. Let's start a left turn. Left turn. Left turn. Left turn. Good. Pitch for those command bars. There you go. Good. Alright, so we kind of fly a pattern in a Cirrus like a racetrack. So we're just going to continue a turn because we're much faster than the Cessnas.
Okay.
Alright, so at this point, just hit the autopilot disconnect, get rid of that flight director. And just continue your climb at 96 knots. Alright, we're looking for Sarno Road. So continue the climb at about 96. Good. And Sarno Road's going to come up right about here. So let's go left. Go left. That's Sarno Road. We went past it. Alright, keep pitching for 96. Keep pitching for 96. Let's get back to Sarno Road. See how it happens a lot faster in the Cirrus? So come back to this. Come back to Sarno. Keep coming to the left. Let's go back to Sarno.
Delta 2591 Melbourne Tower, flighting 080, runway 9 right, clear for takeoff.
080 heading, clear takeoff, 9 right, Delta 2591.
Alright, here comes 1,000 feet. So let's level out and pull the power back to about 50% power. Big pull back to 50%. Keep coming. Keep coming. See how we shot way up on our speed?
Yep.
Alright, now hold 1,000 feet. You're descending. You're descending.
Yeah.
There you go. Good. Alright, we'll beam the numbers. Let's come back to 25% power. Speed checks under 150, flaps 50. And now we're pitching for about 100 knots. So a little bit more back on the power. And we're gonna extend our downwind a little bit because we don't want to fly this like a Cirrus. Or like a Cessna, because it's just too close.
Yep.
So keep your nose down, about 3 degrees nose down.
6 Charlie Kilo, clear to land, runway 9 left.
Clear to land 9 left, 36 Charlie Kilo. Alright, good.
50 and 90,
Alright,
that's
good.
the right speed, I guess.
Yep, we're pretty close on the speed. So now left turn. So now we're just going to kind of make a continuous banking turn to final as we do this. So we're looking good. I bring just a little bit of power up. That was way too much. It came up to 50. Come back. There you go. All right, now speed checks. Let's go flaps 100. Now the aircraft's going to want to pitch up, so be ready for that. All right, good. Now we're holding 90 knots. This is looking pretty good. We're right about on path. Approach is clear. All right, so small power adjustment. That's the name of the game with this thing. It really likes to make aggressive power changes, so a little bit more.
44, runway 9 right, clear to land.
All right, so about 80 knots is just what we're looking for. We're looking pretty darn stabilized. This is pretty good.
Today 2, hold short for wake
There's
turbo.
80 knots.
Expect a 3-minute delay.
All right, so now we're going to trim for 80. That's looking really good. Now we're going to use our power to control our path. Too much power. Too much power. There you go. All right, pitch. So bump the trim to get to 80. That's looking pretty good. All right, now let's go right at 9 or right. Or 9 or left, excuse me, right at those numbers.
I want my right wing down, and I feel like it's...
Well, bring it over a little bit. If it's, whoa. Not small control inputs, small control inputs. There you go.
Into the wind, and my...
All right, pitch for 80. You're looking fine. All right, a little power in, There you go. That's a much better power adjustment, just like that. Good. All right, keep holding 80. You're looking good. Oh, small control inputs. There you go. All right. Keep that power up. Until we get in the ground effect. All right, good. Keep your nose coming down. Now start closing the throttle. Keep your nose down. Now start rounding out. Throttle to idle. Hold it off. Less left rudder. There you go. Now just hold it. There you go. Good. All right. So now just gentle braking until we get speed down a little bit. You can bring the flaps up to improve braking effectiveness, and we'll roll all the way to Quebec. We're not going to try to burn up the brakes here. All right, so much more sensitive, right?
Left at Quebec and taxi Kilo to the ramp today.
Left Quebec, Kilo to the ramp. We'll see at 36 Kilo. Yeah, so it's a lot more sensitive, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's everybody. That's universal feedback. It's just the control inputs are much finer in this airplane. All right.
Go on the yellow line.
Yep.
Follow the yellow brick.
Yep, so we're going over here. We'll get clear of the non-movement area, and then we'll do the afterlanding check. Clear to the right. Clear to the left.
So one thing...
Right turn. What were you saying?
You were nice and loud. I can hear you. You can hear me. But when the guy comes in, I know you're hearing it. He's dimmer to me. Is there a way to?
Yeah, we can talk about it. So let's stop here. We'll do the afterlanding checks, and then I'll show you how to turn the volume on the radio.
Okay.
All right. So checklist. All right. Let's go to after landing. So don't hit emergency. Oops. Hit the, let's see, I think
Home.
it's going to be, yep, and then we'll go checklist, and it's going to be on emergency now. So we're going to hit the group button. Let's go to normal procedure, so use the FMS big knob.
Turn right to the southeast,
Enter.
runway 9 right, clear for takeoff.
And now we're going to go down, keep scrolling down until you find after landing.
Pit 44, taxi Alpha Victor to the ramp.
See Alpha Victor to the ramp, pit 44, thanks.
Go, enter. All right, power lever, 1,000 RPM, close enough. Fuel pump off. Flaps we've already brought up. Transponder is still on 1200, that's fine, we don't have to put it on standby.
Lights as required.
Yep, you can shut off the landing lights, leave the strobes on. And pitot heat's good. All right, all good. We're going to go park where we found it next to uniform Papa. Now, if you wanted to turn up the radios, here's how you do it. The radio button, the radio volumes are right here. See how I'm turning them right here? If you want to hear what it sounds like, that's louder, that's less loud. All right, so what sounds good to you? Actually, I'll tell you what, let's do it this way. Let's go over here, and we'll use this.
Expect a visual.
So try the knob.
Landed at departing runway 9 right, 9 left to
No,
runway
this
5.
knob right here.
Simultaneous approaches to be conducted to parallel and converging runways. Melbourne VURD out of service. Taxiway Delta's closed between taxiway Echo and taxiway
That's better?
Charlie. Taxiway Sierra's closed.
Yeah, and that sounds fine to me too.
We'll be yelling at one another, but...
But that's how you adjust. So the intercom volume knob is right here. So this makes it less loud, that makes it louder. All right?
So that way, yeah.
Okay.
So I'll be able to tell the two different levels, but still hear the other one.
Correct. Correct. All right, let's taxi up next to uniform Papa. You have the flight controls. Here we go.
Be cute. Are there guidelines?
We're just going to kind of come out here, and then we're going to park on that T right next to uniform Papa.
Right next to uniform.
Yeah, exactly.
No idea where the nose.
So just keep it coming around, and we'll put it on that T. Perfect. Keep it coming. Just line your wing up with uniform Papa's wing. Perfect. All right, let's do a shutdown checklist. So just scroll. Yeah. Well, no, don't push too much. So I'll show you something. So when you go to the home, then come back here, and then I'm going to go back to the group and normal. So when we do emergency procedures, it's designed to take you right to the emergency. So when you hit the checklist button, like when you're on the home page, you hit the checklist button. See how emergency comes up right there?
Oh,
so it's real easy. So you can just dump, and you're right at emergency procedures, right? So, but if you want to get to the next checklist in the group, the checklist you want, if you're in the correct group, which we're in normal now, so the group takes you normal, abnormal, emergency, et cetera, et cetera. We're in normal right now. So if you, let me get out of there one quick. So the way to scroll through the different checklists in normal is to press checklist, and then use the FMS knob to scroll through them. So we're going to go all the way down to shutdown now. Hit the enter button, and now we'll do the shutdown checklist. So I'll show you. This is real easy to do. This is the do and verify. So we're going to do all these things by doing as follows. We're going to work right to left. Off, 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 off. If you do that, you will catch everything. Before we do that, we're going to do magneto check, but I'll show you one more time. Off, off, off.
Charlie, be ready when we get down to the end.
Does that make sense?
Okay, so over here, what are we really turning off?
You're going to turn this to the off position, which turns off the compressor.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we want this off, so we unload the compressor before we shut it down. The only thing we need to do before we do all that is just do a mag check. So
this is a real fast.
Yes.
Right, left, both, and off?
Yeah, so it'll go all the way to off, make sure it starts to die, and then turn it back to both. Back to both? Good. Perfect. As long as it starts to die, you're good. Okay. All right, so now let's work right to left.
So off, off.
Yep, all the way back. Off, off.
And all of these go off.
Yep, all of them off.